This segment is sponsored by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning to us.
So we have Catherine and Alex and Andy and Sean and Tony Lee. Is Kostaki ready to go?
I'm here.
We missed it earlier, but we talked to Kostaki as he was coming out of the shower. So we called him back because Catherine said, I thought it was 10:45, honey. They've known each other for like 2 weeks. She's calling him honey now.
We're BFFs.
If you ever cheat, Catherine, cheat up. Kostaki's your guy.
And there you go.
Thank
there
you.
you have it.
Thank you.
Kostaki Economopoulos, quick snaps for a brand new week. And man, do we have a lot of games to talk about today.
We do. That's why you got me at the top of the show. Vikings are 3-1, baby.
Yeah.
Vikings haven't been 3-1 since they were picking off merchant ships. It's been a while. The Vikings beat the Lions. Percy Harvin ran the ball. He caught the ball. He returned the opening kickoff, 105 yards for a score. You could say the Lions were Percy whipped.
I like it.
There he goes again.
Still
I like
that
it.
one now.
Scored on the first play. Nobody scores in the first play. What are they, George Clooney? How do you score in the first?
You got that right.
2 return touchdowns for the win. A return touchdown. I was like, this touchdown's not to my liking. I'm going to return it. Detroit has a very liberal return policy, I think. It's easier to return things than at Walmart.
No, no question.
Can you call the Vikings a Cinderella team? Is there anything less Cinderella than a Viking?
Well, yeah, good point.
The Vikings went back to basics. They used the raping to set up the pillaging. It was sort of a set too dark.
I don't
for
get
this.
it.
Maybe.
Catherine's got a very dark look on her face right
I
now.
don't understand. Could you explain your joke to me?
I killed my cheating opportunities right there.
You're out.
And I stumbled over it. Never a good combination. Edgy and stumbling.
There you have it.
Like.
3 undefeated teams going into the weekend. Cardinals, Texans, Falcons. All of them won. My Falcons are 4-0, baby.
Unbelievable.
Matt Ryan, this is an amazing stat. Matt Ryan is 28-4 career at home. That's awesome.
That is.
The last home loss for Atlanta was against Sherman.
Oh,
General.
Michael Turner. the running back.
frankly, Kostaki, I don't give a damn. No. He's going with Sherman. If he's going with Sherman,
way back.
That's going way back. That's right.
I got some old school references coming up. You know me, Tom.
Sure.
Don't you worry. Michael Turner runs north and south better than anybody, unless he's been drinking. Then he's a little swervy.
Ooh.
He had a DUI.
Yeah. He explains it. I like
Going,
it.
what, 90 miles an hour, too?
Something stupid, yeah, right after the game. The other big national story, the Niners beat the Jets 34-0. Who was playing defense for the Jets? The replacement refs? What was happening?
They need something to do.
Oh, those damn refs.
Nothing. They scored nothing. My daughter and I also scored nothing against the Niners, and we didn't play.
Well,
We.
how old's your daughter now?
She turns 4 in a couple of weeks.
That's what I thought. 4 years old. Unbelievable.
Crazy.
You know what they
Congratulations.
say about the 4s.
Thank you very much. Yes. Well, I'm just saying she and I had the same number of points against the Niners.
Yes.
They just start
No
getting
points. It was like
expensive
Sarah
at
Palin's
about
book.
birth, I think.
No points. It was 0. Here you go. Here's an old reference. Reagan didn't beat Mondale that badly.
Oh. Yeah.
That's a throwback joke, Tom. I'm wearing an L.A. Rams jersey for that one.
L.A. Rams usually has Minnesota and the District of Columbia. That was all that Mondale won.
Really?
That's right. Minnesota, is that true?
Not Minnesota and D.C.
Well, he's from here, honey.
Oh, it's the home state, of course.
Home state.
Wow, look at you pulling out the artifacts.
Hard to remember to be able to count to 2.
Yes. 2.
I hate it when he pulls out his artifacts.
So the Jets got killed. And then Rex Ryan came out and he had this whole speech about we got our ass kicked, which I think begs the question, isn't it asses?
Yes.
It's not one big collective ass, right?
Yeah. You're right.
It's the Jets,
plural.
which is plural. Each player is a Jet.
And each
right?
have an ass.
If it were the LA Galaxy, then you could argue that we are collectively the Galaxy, so the Galaxy ass was kicked.
Right.
Right?
That's correct.
Is it too early for a comedy grammar lesson?
I don't think it is. I don't think
Never
it is
too
at all.
early.
I hope my English teacher's listening.
Yes.
There is no I in team, but there is one in ass kicked.
Yes.
Can you conjugate Economopoulos? That's what I
So they asked Rex Ryan if there's a quarterback controversy. He said, Mark is the answer at quarterback. Only if the question is, what's your most troubling issue?
Well, there you go.
Then that makes sense. The Eagles somehow eked out a victory. The Eagles have won 3 games by a total of 4 points.
Whoa.
Isn't that an amazing stat?
It is.
They barely win. They're like Al Gore. They just barely. I think the Supreme Court declared the Giants the victors last night.
Yes.
Even though, all right.
They'd be making big money if they got that right, though.
That's political and all. There's many strikes.
Yes.
In case you're wondering what the worst 3-1 team in the NFL is, I have a hint. It rhymes with Seagulls. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
And the worst 1-3 team rhymes with Quagmires. Anyone? Jaguars?
Well,
That's a loose rhyme.
It's a Family Guy reference.
I have Michael Vick on 2 fantasy teams. I was losing my mind last night. What was I thinking? People think he's a bad decision maker. Why would I pick him for 2?
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Oh, I love this story. A friend of mine sent me this. Cowboys.com is a cowboy-themed gay dating website.
right.
Did you know that?
Yes.
I did not know that. You also get a dude from Chiefs.com. You're halfway to the Village People.
Tom, how'd you know that, sweetie?
Mike Evans told me.
Mike Evans told you.
She calls him sweetie.
Yeah.
How did you know that, sweetie?
How do you know about gay websites, Tom?
It's sad if you didn't know that wasn't the Cowboys football team site, but you hung in there. Talk about taking one for the team.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
The 2-minute drill on that page is very different.
Oh, thanks for that visual.
On that site, piling isn't a penalty. It costs extra.
All right. I like his little throwaway.
Yeah.
I'm embarrassed. All right. I'm very excited about this. The NFL Red Zone channel. The NFL just made a deal with Time Warner, and for the first time ever, I watched the Thursday night game in my home. I now have access to the NFL channel. And I just bought the NFL Red Zone channel, which is $6 a month. It's the best money I ever spent. Are you familiar with this thing? I've never seen it before.
Now, what is it?
It's NFL Red Zone. It's a channel that you have. It's a premium channel.
Oh, yeah.
And it shows all of the best parts of all the games live. Like it goes to whoever has the ball on the 2. It's awesome.
You would like that.
Can you marry a television channel? Probably not. Because if I could, at 17, I would have married Showtime. Which is the perfect metaphor for early marriage. I haven't even met HBO. How could I marry Showtime? It's ridiculous. It's amazing. It swoops to, now we're going to this game. It's first and goal on the 2, and we're going to this game. It's Peyton Manning's got it on the 5. It's so fun. I want the Red Zone channel in my life. It just switches to whatever the great part is. It's just my kid gets a great basic math concept, and it's like, whoosh, my tickets to the show are selling. Whoosh, my girlfriend's getting out of the shower. Whatever. And then, and sometimes they double box it where there's 2 things that are happening simultaneously. The pizza's being delivered. My girlfriend dropped the towels walking towards me. Boom, I need 2 boxes for this. It's very exciting. So, anyway, I'm excited. I don't know. Any one of these could be the closer.
You actually weren't showering. You were drinking, weren't you?
That morning drink
is the
best drink.
There's a guy, Raiders player, Darius Haywood-Bay, said he still can't remember anything about the hit he took in the Steelers game.
Ooh.
I can relate. I took a hit once in Amsterdam, could not remember anything. Very different. Haywood-Bay got pretty messed up. He hasn't been able to pass the concussion test despite affirmative action.
He throws a stinger out there.
Another edgy one.
It was edgy.
Another edgy one.
If not over the edge.
You sounded kind of smug when you said another edgy one.
I'm funny.
That joke actually is written here, and it has the word danger in front of it to remind me.
Danger.
In red letters.
I figure, we're safe here.
You're good to go.
This
no
is a
question.
safe place.
Haywood-Bay has no hard feelings against the player who put the hit on him, Randy Mundy, because how can you be mad at a guy who's blurry?
True.
It isn't really.
It's a very good point. See, if he has a concussion, honey, everybody's blurry.
There we are again.
I should have closed on that one. Let's close on this one.
Oh, we're closing on this one? Okay.
The L.A. City Council voted unanimously to stop construction of the new NFL stadium. They're calling it Farmers Field. No, to support construction. Did I say stop? That's the opposite.
Yeah, it is the opposite, yes.
They're calling it Farmers Field because to come up with $1.5 billion, they're going to have to grow weed in the middle of it. Ta-da!
That's a good closer.
That's a good closer, yes.
And now here's a good closer from our end.
All right.
First time in the 52-year history of the Minnesota Vikings, they returned a kickoff and a punt for a touchdown in the same game.
Wow.
First time in 52 years.
It's a good thing there wasn't much offense in the game.
No, there was none.
Right.
No offense, not much of a pass rush either.
Who needs
Great, though.
offense?
What a great stat that is.
We won, and that's what matters.
111 pass yards by Ponder.
I know.
3-1, and they beat a division rival.
It's
crazy.
On the road.
Are they actually good?
No.
Nobody's
Hey.
sold.
Oh, Alex is mad at me now. She's a huge Viking fan.
Sometimes when you don't think they're that good, they're good.
Right.
Now we're going to find out. We'll find out.
Yep.
Actually, we're going to have the Viking punter Chris Kluwe on the show this week.
Oh, that's great.
So he'll be
Extremely excited.
I have the same hesitation about my Falcons. May the Falcons and Vikings play in the NFC Championship game. How about that?
I like you kind of went Dennis Miller on me there. I said,
Payback.
hey, we're going to have the punter from the Viking house. That's great, babe.
Good.
I don't care.
Kostaki goes Dennis Miller on me.
How did you get a punter on the show?
That's great, man.
I need smarter references if I'm going to live up to that.
Dennis Miller. Oh, the ones that only you can understand. That's the problem with Dennis. Kostaki, great as always. Quick snaps with Kostaki Economopoulos. We'll speak to you on Monday.
Yeah, let's discuss what time, maybe.
10:45 for the love of God.
Right.
Well, he doesn't want to do it that early.
I can do it that early. I just need to know. That's all.
10:45, baby.
All right.
That's
All right.
11:45 your time.
11:45.
I'm in.
Yes.
All right, Kostaki. Thank you, sir.
Yay.
Thank you. Great talking to you.
Bye.
Quick snap.
What a great
Polly
guy.
Chronopoulos.
Steve Mother Truckin'.
Who is Paulie Chronopoulos?
That's an Adam Sandler song.
Pauly
Some
Chronopoulos?
dick that he went to school with.
Steve
Pauly
Chronopoulos.
Chronopoulos.
Yep.
Oh, my God. Buy online by going to the Amazon.com banner at TomBarnardPodcast.com. They don't charge you a penny more. A small portion of what they sell through our site helps support the show, and it's what keeps the show free for our listeners. Click and shop today on the Amazon banner at TomBarnardPodcast.com. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we get to schmooze a little bit about what's going on in the world. Anything good?
How about IKEA erasing women, deleting the women from their catalog to send to Saudi
Arabia.
Are you kidding?
They're
They
deleted.
just airbrushed them right on out.
All the women.
Good morning, Dakota.
Hello, Dakota. This is Tom Barnard calling for Jeff Cesario.
Tom Barnard, one moment, please. I'll transfer you now.
Thank you, dear.
Tom Barnard. That's Tom Barnard.
Tom Barnard. I remember when I worked in Grand Forks many years ago, and I still had kind of a north side accent. The general manager comes in and goes, "Why do you call yourself Toppin' Out?" And I said,
Yes,
"What?"
yes.
He goes, "You Toppin' Out." And I said, "No, it's Tom Barnard." He goes, "Oh, I thought you were saying Toppin' Out." What?
Yeah, like you could understand their accents up in Grand Forks.
It's actually Toppin' Out.
Toppin' Out. Is El Jefe with us?
Yes.
There he is right there.
Yo.
You're now royalty, El Jefe. Oh, here we go.
El Jefe. That always reminds me of Rip Torn from Larry Sanders.
Well, gee, I wonder why that would come to mind. How many years were you on the Larry Sanders Show?
I only did a season on staff, but the year before the season I was on staff, I wrote a script with Judd Apatow called The Bump, which was autobiographical about me getting bumped off Larry Sanders 10 times.
I remember that.
Yeah, they always referenced him.
You didn't write the jingle, I hope, for that show.
And so what we did was I had started to write jokes for Larry Sanders, for Gary, for Larry, for pretty much the entire run of the show, monologue jokes.
Right.
They would do a monologue night every couple of months, and he would just blast out 6 monologues or 7 monologues for all those episodes. Just go backstage and change suits and come out and do another 5 minutes. So I'd been writing jokes for that for quite some time, since pretty much the beginning of the show. And then just as a hoot, for a kick, for a little throwback at me, they would occasionally mention me at the end of the fictitious talk show before they launched into whatever they were doing.
Right.
So it would, and then it became like for fun. He started to do, I'd like to thank David Duchovny and Lisa Bonet, and my apologies to Jeff Cesario for running out of time. We'll see Jeff next week or something like that. so just as a hoot, and it was always fun. But then I counted them, and it was like 10 of them, and I said, I think officially I've actually been bumped 10 times off the Larry Sanders Show. Why don't we do an episode about it where Jeff just gets fed up and says, the hell with it? And so Judd said, that's a great idea. So we whipped it up, and Judd was extraordinarily helpful. He really had Gary's style down pretty good. And that became a really popular episode where I finally get on the show, but it's the same day that Hank's dad dies. So Hank wants to do a giant eulogy to his dad on air. And then, of course, that night, it's like everything goes right but wrong for me. Like, Tom Petty decides, I'll do 3 tunes instead of 1. Nobody ever does that. So that was that, and all the guests were going along, and Larry kept trimming everybody, and Larry cuts off David Duchovny in like the middle of an anecdote, and he's just trimming people left and right, and Artie keeps coming. My favorite scene in the whole thing is Artie comes up to me. I'm at the craft service table, and he goes, "What are you leading with?" And I go, my coffee house bit. It's my favorite bit. He goes, "Love that bit. Cut it by a minute." So literally by the end of the show, I'm doing about 90 seconds. But I get out there and I kill. And then right after me, Hank comes out to do his eulogy, and he falls apart 30 seconds in. They've saved him 5 minutes. Oh. Falls apart 30 seconds in and says, I have to admit, I never knew my dad. He sits there. Now Larry looks over at Artie and just goes, "What?" And Artie gives him this stretch signal because now they're short.
So funny.
So they have to stretch, and then the upshot is, the tag is we go to Larry's house to watch it at the end of the night, and just about as I'm about to step foot on stage, we are canceled. We're superseded by another celebrity slow-speed chase in Los Angeles. So that was great, and Gary really liked that script, so he said, why don't you come on staff the next season? So that's how I wound up on staff, working with incredible actors like Rip Torn and Jeffrey Tambor.
Oh, they're wonderful, both of them. You all here are in a lot of trouble. Remember the audio of Rip Torn drunk in the police station?
Yeah, right.
You're all here. You're in a lot of trouble. Jeff Cesario with us, ladies and gentlemen. How many Emmys did you win?
I have 2 Emmys, both from Dennis Miller Live, and then I was just nominated for my 3rd. We lost to Louis C.K. I wrote on the Oscars this year, and we lost out to the great Louis C.K. for his stand-up special. And, when you're a stand-up, if a stand-up beats you, that's like beautiful. I mean, because, you know how hard it is to write an hour of great material and get out on stage and tell it yourself. So
right.
There was no pain in that one. Would have been nice to win, but, hey, Louis got a tremendous show and has always been a tremendous stand-up, so that was cool.
We've got a million things I want to talk about, but I was talking to Jeff last week, asking him to be on the Tom Barnard Podcast, and I brought up the fact that the family went to see Dennis Miller in Palm Beach at the Kravis Center.
Right, the Kravis Center.
And he was, what, you don't remember?
I'm just kidding, I do.
Oh, my God. Alex pretending she doesn't remember. Oh, by the way, Jeff,
you were there.
My wife Catherine, my daughter Alex, my son Andy, and my nephew Sean, also Tony Lee. You remember Tony from the KQ?
Great Tony Lee.
Yeah.
Jeffrey.
Not just Tony Lee.
Very hilarious human being.
Thanks, Jeff.
For a Jew.
How's little Bailey?
She's fantastic. She's kicking my ass. The energy level is shocking. I don't remember having that energy level as a kid. I think it was slapped out of me by my parents at a time when apparently you could slap your kids to no avail.
It's true.
Everybody treated their kids like black kids back then. Bang! Popped into a wall.
Hey, now.
Nobody cared. Pow! Right into the shoe department at Kinney's. It was horrible. So that I don't remember just running around like a crazed person, but apparently that's okay now. So she gets to do that.
From Bradshaw and Bryant, Michael Bryant. What's up, Allie?
Oh, not much. Doing my usual thing of telling people they shouldn't be texting and driving. In Minnesota, you can't have your phone in your hands. You can use, hands-free, but you can't have your phone in your hands for whatever reason. And that's why they made the law the way they did, so that police officers could see a phone in your hand, and you got no excuse for why you got it there.
Do people know that that's the law?
I hope so. I mean, they used to follow it, and then kind of COVID kind of made people forget, and now it's like a freewheeling world out there with cell phones.
Let's say you get pulled over because you do have a phone in your hand and you're not watching where you're going. You got to be in pretty big trouble then, I would guess.
Well, the first one's not as bad. It's the multiple ones, the problem. And once people start stacking them up, then they have a big problem. And then what we're doing in car accidents is we've started bringing motions for punitive damages, because I'm trying to use the civil law any way we can to stop this, because it needs to stop.
Whenever I'd had any problems in my life, who was that I called again? It was like an MB, something like that.
Brad Shaw.
Why should your business bank with North American Banking Company? Here's Brian Thiel, president of Abrasives of St. Paul.
What I like best about North American Banking Company is the small town feel with great products and very good service, and I love the people. I would definitely recommend North American to other business owners. A lot of banks I could choose from, and North American Banking Company is the one.
So why not bank where I bank? With my friends at North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. That's nabanco.com, or stop by any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
John Bryant.
So you have to understand one thing. Jeff can get away with a joke like that because remember the Moore thing? You ever seen that scene?
Absolutely. No, I mean,
True romance.
look, if you look at a map, it's a 45-mile swim to Tunisia from Italy.
Swim.
I'm sure I've got black blood in me. I'm positive.
We have talked many times. Handsome man that he is, that cuts quite a figure. Jeff does look like a terrorist.
Oh, yeah. Seriously, I haven't shaved. I shave every 9 minutes, okay?
All the ear hair.
There isn't a towel getting anywhere near my head, okay?
There you go. Yuck. I was just reminiscing this morning about remember the Christmas party at my house, Jeff?
Absolutely. That is one of the best parties I've been to. Just for the absurdity of it. Tom invites me to a Christmas party at his house.
Yeah.
I walk in. There's, literally, there's the cognoscenti of Minneapolis, St. Paul is there. There's Tim Pawlenty, if I'm not mistaken. There's all sorts of celebrities. Glenn Mason is sitting there back when he was still coaching.
Right.
Everybody's there. I'm like, wow, this is incredible. I must thank Tom immediately and get a beer. Where's Tom? No one knows where Tom is. Finally, I believe I run into your lovely wife, who says he's locked in the cigar closet down there. I believe she used that term. She didn't use, walk-in whatever, walk-in humidor. She said the cigar closet.
He's in the cigar closet.
So I go down there, and she literally said, see if you can raise him. Like it's 6 a.m. on a farm. It's 10:30 at night. I go downstairs to the cigar closet. I'm pounding on the door like Serpico.
Like a terrorist.
Serpico.
On that second floor walk-up when he gets shot under the eye. Yes. I'm pounding on your door like that. Come on, open up.
It was great. I mean, he comes in, so I unlock the door.
Sound asleep, incidentally, for about another hour.
This is still a sore spot, so thanks for bringing it up.
I remember lying on the couch in there. I'm on the couch, and Jeff is sitting in a chair, and he's going, Tom, don't you think you should go to your own party?
Yeah.
And then remember what happened next? What that woman said?
Oh, that crazy woman.
You were there for all of that.
I remember
We finally dragged Tom upstairs and were immediately accosted by some drunk, crazy woman.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Don't say her name.
No, I'm not going to say her name, but should I tell you what? I have to tell the listeners what she said. Alex, you might want to block your ears for this one.
I've heard it. I was right there when she said
John's
it.
not heard it.
I've not heard it.
Yeah,
you were
here.
probably
Tony,
locked in another closet.
You have not heard it either.
What happened?
So Jeff gets me to come up. Tom, let's go upstairs now. Okay, Uncle Jeff. I'll follow you. So I follow Jeff up the stairs, and there's Norm Coleman, Tim Pawlenty, Glenn Mason, coach of the University of Minnesota, a couple of actors. So it's Jeff, me, and all these people sitting around a circle. And this woman comes and sits down next to me. And she's pretty hammered. And she says...
And is to this day.
You have a nice voice. I said, well, thank you very much. Yeah. She goes, you do radio, huh? I said, yeah, I have a morning show. It's in the morning. And Jeff's looking at me like, what in the fuck is going on here? Right? So she says... I'm sad. I said, oh, that's too bad. Why are you sad? And by the way, Jeff, when I say this punchline, I'm looking at the table. I can't look at my children.
And
Anyway.
of course, at this point, I back out like a guy at Jiffy Lube who can't sell you the big package. I literally just walk away like, all right, that's it.
You're a smart
You
man.
were there for the punchline.
I was.
So she said, I'm sad. I said, that's too bad. Why are you sad? My husband's divorcing me. And I said, oh, that's too bad. Irreconcilable differences. And with a very serious tone in her voice says, no, he's looking for a younger woman with a smaller hole.
Oh, my God.
My son Andy just went into a panic. Wow. That's a true story.
Oh, my God.
And of course, what do I say, Jeff? Oh, I'm sure that's not it.
I'm sure your hole is just fine and proportional to the rest of your body.
Now it's
With
just,
a polite Midwesterner.
Does he have a small wiener?
It's not your hole.
I'm sure it's not your hole.
You know they have surgeries.
I'm sure it's not the fact that you've been drunk probably the better part of your adult life.
Yeah. And say these sorts of things to strangers.
But Jeff looks at me, and he's got this look in his eye like, let's go back down to the cigar closet.
Exactly.
Lock ourselves in. Now you know why he locked himself
Oh,
away.
I think that was the night Glenn Mason decided, I'm just not going to coach anymore.
Yeah, he said, I'm giving it up. And I mean, she said it in front of all these guys, and every one of them, it's the governor, a U.S. senator, like I said, some actors, the head coach, and they're all looking at me like, what is your deal? Like it was my fault.
Well, everybody looked around like, it just doesn't change. No matter how nice the house, no matter how nice the party, no matter how nice the guest list, there's going to be a drunk woman there.
There's always
talking
one.
about her hole.
One other very quick story about that Christmas party. And it was the last one we had, so we might don't want to think about having another one. This is a true story. Everybody from the state is there. And, I'm not trying to be an asshole here. It was a fact, right? Came to the party.
All the cool kids.
We had people like serving wine that night. Somebody went into the coat room and stole medication out of a server's jacket. So instead of the server stealing something from a guest stole something from the server.
Welcome to Minnesota, ladies and gentlemen.
Was it you, Jeff? Are you going to fess up?
Hard to imagine that Hazelden is up there, huh?
Supposed to be so successful.
That's a very good point. But we do want to mention the fact that you got a big new job. How long you been on duty there now?
2 weeks. I am here as we speak. I am head writing on Russell Brand's talk show for the FX network called Brand X. And we actually tape a test show tomorrow with the great Greg Proops as our guest. I don't know if you've ever had Greg on your show.
Absolutely.
He's hilarious.
He's very funny.
And then Friday we kick off with the Ryan Hurst from Sons of Anarchy is our guest.
Oh. Wow.
So we tape Friday, but it airs next Thursday. It airs in about 10 days or whatever the hell that is. So stay tuned on the FX network for Brand X this year. I've really been having a great time. He is a sweet guy and extremely talented, and his goal this go-round is to kind of dial it back a half a notch so he's not the crazy rock and roll comic who's always in your face, but sort of actually to do kind of a traditional talk show and kind of subvert it from the inside. So if you tuned in, you'd go, well, there's a wooden desk and a cityscape behind him. This will probably be pleasant. And then bang, then he kind of hits you with a right cross. So that's the goal. Knock on wood, we'll achieve it. But I've been having a great time. Great writer's room, and he's been a blast.
And I tell Jeff every time he goes to a new position, he always picks guys that either hate me or I hate. So thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Jeff. It's really nice. And so Jeff tells me last week, I'll make sure I'll check with you before I take a job, okay? Like, okay, smart ass.
Yeah, sure, why not?
How'd you hook up with Russell Brand?
They were looking to do it, and his production company is Dakota Films, which is Troy Miller, who's one of my oldest buddies in town. We hooked up in '84 when I first got to town. We've literally known each other almost 30 years in the business. Just a sweet guy, one of the most honest guys I know in the business. Very successful producer now. He did Bam Margera shows at MTV. He's done what is the Bored to Death on HBO.
Oh yeah, loved it.
The Flight of the Conchords for HBO. He did make a show with Dave. He's done all these hipster shows. So he's kind of top call now for the hipster element out here. And he got it, and he just said, the one thing we were missing the first 6 shows was somebody in the writer's room who could kind of direct the thing and kind of control it and give it a pace. And so, a lot of head writing, as I knew from Dennis Miller, which I executive produced also, is a lot of those kinds of jobs are administrative. You really get in the room to kind of bang around a ball maybe 15% of the time, but it's really needed. You really need somebody to kind of structure the thing, like, make sure that we're working on this Friday show while we're doing tomorrow's show, that kind of crap. So to just kind of get ahead of the game and have an organizational head on the material. And the more I get to know Russell, the easier that'll become, but so far so good. So.
But you said he's a real sweet guy and an easy guy to work with, huh?
Yeah, he really is. And, he's like all of those guys. They want it a certain way. But once you figure out what that way is, then you can make it super efficient for them. And the one thing I've been blessed in the sense that I worked with Dennis Miller, because the one thing that Dennis and Russell have in common, among several things, but one of the big things for this gig is that they are best when they're flying, when they're coming off the cuff, when they know they got a safety net of great material, they can go to it any time they want. But in the meantime, now they can literally combust and take it from there to the next level off the top of their heads. And so having worked in that environment a little bit that way, I could bring some of those muscles to this gig, and it's really helping. It's like he likes to kind of come in on a Thursday afternoon or Thursday night and get it all ready and blast it out Friday. And that's just the way Dennis was. And as a performer, I understand that. I remember one of the great lessons I learned on Dennis Miller Live was he would come in on a Monday, read the jokes we had written Monday, love them. By Thursday, he's burnt on those jokes. He's taking those Thursday jokes and saying, well, why don't we run with these, Jeffro? And I'm like, well, because they're not as good a joke. But, because now I got a staff that's burnt out by Thursday. They all just want to get home on Friday, Yeah. So the jokes are good, but they're not as good as the Monday jokes. So I figured out a process by which he didn't see anything until Thursday.
Ooh, good move.
We got some serendipity. Dennis Miller got hot in the mid-'90s, and he had to go do a movie. They were shooting up in Toronto or someplace, and HBO was freaking out, like, well, what are we going to do? He's not going to be in office until Thursday night. And I'm thinking, yes! And so Dennis would walk in, and then, to their credit, my staff at that time, which was some great writers, Eddie Driscoll and Greg Greenberg and Eddie Feldman, and some unbelievably talented comedians, David Feldman, we would get together, and this is unheard of, especially for a lot of stand-ups, sit down on Wednesday, weed through everybody's jokes. This is 300, 350 jokes, and boil it down to 50, 60 jokes for Dennis to get through. So guys would vote on everybody's jokes, including their own. And for a stand-up to sit there with his own writing and go, yeah, I like that other joke better, it was a huge step for us and for those guys, a very unselfish thing to do for the show. But we got there, and he'd come in and read 40, 50 jokes and boil it down to 20, and boom, we'd go. So that kind of muscle is really coming in handy here.
Well, there's no question about that. It's, and to be honest, I bust your balls a little bit there, but everything you've ever worked on has been hilarious. You have a show, and if it doesn't get put on TV sooner or later, I'm coming out there. And I'm just telling you, this show is a brilliant idea. You don't have it up on YouTube or anything like that, do you?
We have it on funnyordie.com.
Oh, you do? Okay.
It's called The Dick Rossi Show, and it's an homage to the early days of talk shows. It's like a 1961 low rung of the Rat Pack stand-up comic finally gets his own show, and he does everything Carson did, and he does it first, and he does it worse. He's just horrible. When the little monkey starts dancing on my head, instead of doing something clever, I just grab him and throw him against a wall.
Kills him.
Then I have to apologize for killing a monkey. It's we have a magician on the show who does a water tank trick and croaks, and we still don't have a rerun. That's my favorite line in the whole thing. By the end of that, Dick goes, we almost had to run a rerun. You know, he just has no sensibility. He's politically incorrect the entire way. He's literally from 1961 with more of a B-movie Dean Martin as a sidekick who's really hanging out for the booze and the broads, a fan leader who's clearly on heroin, with what's just part of the title, Spats Henderson and his big-breasted all-girl orchestra.
Spats Henderson.
We just went for it, and we had a great time. But we have modern guests. Jimmy Kimmel was our guest, and we just get him out there, and Dick doesn't know he has a talk show, and 5 minutes in he goes, what do you mean this guy's a talk show? I thought he had a sitcom for credit. Why am I having a guy with a talk show on my talk show? And it disintegrates from there, and we get in with Jimmy Kimmel about how his eyes look Chinese, and he's got to be Chinese, and we just go off. Dick will say the wrong thing at the wrong time, even in intros. Hey, you think your mailman's funny? Check out this funny young Negro. He doesn't know. And that's kind of the charm of it, is he's an idiot. And we point that out. But at the same time, we're doing a real talk show. He does a monologue. He does stupid desk pieces. We have a guest. We do dopey things. So, knock on wood, Tom, what we've got going here is we're getting a little bit of money from a network. I don't even want to jinx it by mentioning it.
Okay.
To go shoot some more segments. They would like to see more celebrity segments. So what we're doing is through my management company, which has another show running, so we get to use their stage when they're down. We're building an identical set. We're going to get the wardrobe, and we'll just call in favors. I'll call everybody I know and say, hey, what are you doing the weekend of whatever the hell we pick, November 15th? And we're going to just blast out as many interviews as we can. And the good thing is we don't do a lot of prep. It's a very cheesy-looking show, and the more it goes off the rails with the guests, the better it is. So you know, we'll get guys for we did Jimmy Kimmel in 15 minutes. We literally did him like you would do a real talk show.
Right.
And we just cut it down to 8 minutes for our purposes, but you could blast out 2 segments with anybody. The more off the cuff it is, it feels and it seems, the better it is for us. So we'll do some prep. We'll always find one thing with a guest that goes haywire that I don't know. You know, like if we get Seinfeld, I'll literally I totally don't get that Jerry's Jewish. So we'll do something like that, and they just goes, I don't get it. I thought you changed your name to get popular in showbiz, because I almost did that, but then I got to go to Italian. So whatever it is, we'll find something we can twist and mash that Dick gets wrong, and you can usually ride that for 5 to 10 minutes, and then it goes to hell from there. So we'll call up a bunch, and even if even if I can only get Michael Keaton for 2 minutes, to beg him to come down to the thing, even if I can only get that, I'll say, hey, why don't you do an old style Bob Hope kind of walkthrough? Where I'm in the middle of some bullshit interview, and then, Michael Keaton just walks out, we play a theme song. He could just walk right through if he wants. I don't give a crap.
Hey, look.
Or he could literally stop. One of the things I've always wanted to do is have a walkthrough like that. After 5 seconds, the applause dies down. He looks right at me. He goes, hey, I understand you're fucking my wife. And, I look at him and go, hey, to be honest, I did not know she was your wife at the time. He just nails me in the eye, drops me, walks out to the theme music, and I stand up and finish the show with a black eye. I would love to do crap like that. So we will be able to use any celebrities we get in any time allotment they can allow us. And so we'll blast out hopefully 3-4 more celebrity interviews and some cameos like that, and then hand them to this guy. He'll run them back to back, and he'll go up to his higher-ups and go, hey, by the way, look at this beautiful thing, and we'll see what happens.
Oh, I'm telling you what, it is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
But, yeah, if you
really
want to see some clips, go to funnyordie.com and have some fun. Just search Dick Rossi, and 3 or 4 clips will pop up.
Dick Rossi, which is a perfect name. And you did mention people are smoking like chimneys and drinking like fish the whole show.
Yeah, we have a drink cart girl. We literally do. And her name is Ursula on the show, and her real name is Irina. She's a gorgeous Russian woman, and she was in Playboy. We didn't know it at the time. We go in and we're on a shoestring budget. We shot all this stuff ages ago, actually a pilot, and we put it all. We were on a shoestring budget, so we send out a PA to go get some sort of outfit for Irina that's a tight Playboy bunny-ish outfit, but we can't afford any copyright things, so it's just got to look like a bustier, kind of thing.
Right.
So they come back from the costume shop with a costume for her. And we look on the cover, $20 costume. We look on the cover of the costume. It's Irina modeling it on the cover of the costume. So we go, well, you can't go wrong with that. We really got the right costume. It fits. We know that.
Exactly. How many years ago did you do the first Dick Rossi?
It's probably close to 3 years ago now, and I've just been pushing this rock up a hill, for 3 years because, and I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. I know when something's funny, and I want to know when something's really funny. And the second people started to see this, the second guys like you said, now this shit is really funny, that's when I went, all right, I know when I'm connecting on something. I've always been a great writer, and I've, I consider myself a really good writer and a really good performer. But I know that, as a stand-up, I don't have the giant hook that has hooked everybody in. And I've stepped aside from stand-up at various points in my career to work behind the camera. So it's not like I could be, a Jake Johansson type that's just going to pound it out until people recognize him, or a Jim Gaffigan or something like that.
Right.
I don't, I didn't dedicate 100% of my career to that. So I knew that going in, and then you hear something like this, and you go, okay, I put a ton of work into this Dick Rossi guy. People are responding, I don't give a shit if the business hasn't quite caught on yet. I know I got something here. When I got 20-year-old sons and daughters of guys I went to high school with saying, this is some funny shit, then I realized, this crosses all demographics because everybody speaks talk show in their subconscious. Everybody knows what that is. It could be from 1940. It could be from 2040. It's a fucking monologue and a guest and a guest and a dopey thing, and something crazy happens at the end of the show. So, and then people love I think here's what people connect to without overanalyzing it. But I think everybody loves the political incorrectness of that sort of Rat Pack shit. Yeah. But they also love the fact that those guys, Sinatra and Sammy Davis and Dean Martin, those guys just kept it in fifth gear in the Cadillac the entire fucking run. They never stopped. They never put it in reverse or stopped down to neutral and said, let's analyze our feelings. They literally looked at somebody and went, I'm sorry I fucked you, or I'm sorry I insulted you. Now, let's go get a steak. Boom! They just kept going,
Yeah.
And that's what I think people kind of love about this wacky trio that is at the heart of this show. So, knock on wood, we'll get a chance to do more of it.
Well, you got to do more of it. Like I said, I love the fact that you've never taken your foot off the accelerator with this deal. This thing, when it hits, wherever it hits, when it lands, it's going to be huge.
I believe that, too. I believe that even if it's just cult huge, it's going to be huge. And it's going to be one of those kinds of things, knock on wood, like I say, that within 6 months, people are going to be coming to us and going, let me do a cameo. Let me come on as your Carl Sagan. Let me come on as your kid inventor. Let me come on as the senator that you destroyed. We got a whole thing written where, Dick Rossi fancies himself a kingmaker, and has a Nevada senator on who he wants to endorse for president. And within 30 seconds, Tom, they destroy him. Inadvertently. Literally. I remember that night we were out with Joey One Eye and those three chicks. Come on, the Vietnamese gals. That was a hot night. And he goes, no, I don't remember any of that. And then I got a whole thing written where anybody can come on as my best stand-up friend in the world, Buddy Camden, who's finally headlining Vegas. And so he comes on, and Dick's going to promote his show. And within 30 seconds, they're in an argument over whose bit is the albacore tuna bit. They each insist it's their bit. And they get in a fist fight, and they're bloody by the end of it. And they have to haul off Buddy Camden on a stretcher. And literally, at the end of the episode, Dick looks in the camera and goes, well, you people at least should know what we're fighting about. Here's the albacore tuna bit, which is my bit. There's three guys walk into a deli. The first guy looks at the deli guy. He says, do you have any albacore tuna? And the deli guy looks back at him, and he says, and then Dick pauses and looks up into the lights and says, "Ah, crap, this is Buddy's bit. Son of a bitch." So it's idiot crap like that across the board, and knock on wood, we'll get a chance to do every single one of those stupid jokes.
You know what's amazing to me is that Alex, who's here today, obviously, 23 years old, in her dining room is a huge poster of the Rat Pack. They love that era. Wouldn't you say, Alex?
I don't know.
Well, thanks for your support. Are you awake this morning, Alex?
Jesus Christ.
Well, there's a big movement among our age group called hipsters,
right?
Which they love everything, like, vinyl records and all that era.
Right. No, I've always been around it. Like, for me, it's not like they listen to a bunch of Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra all the time like I do. That's just something I've always done, and it's my favorite kind of music. I much prefer it over to the music that's out today. But that kind of throwback, the sentiment of the whole thing, I think would be huge.
But why do you have the poster up in your dining room?
Because I listen to them and I love them.
Yeah, but you like their style as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, that is a different thing other than like their music, Well,
that's what Jeff does so well is the style. He's got the style.
It was one of those. It was one of those times you can look on that is so iconic when Americans had swagger. Whether it was Elvis or it was the Rat Pack. Regardless of what it was, there was a time when there was just a swagger, and that's a great thing to kind of capture. And I think America can recapture it in a way if we just kind of rebottle it and repackage it, and as everybody says now, repurpose it a little bit.
Yeah, repurpose it.
But there's no point that part has to die with the bad shit too. You talk about Sinatra, and really what Dick Rossi's about is, sure, he cuffed around his wife a couple of times, but listen to his work. Listen to him sing.
Well, it was a great period of time for males. I'm surprised that Alex likes them because it was a great time period for males.
Well,
the swagger,
America in general, like Jeff was saying, we ruled the world and we weren't apologizing for it. We were inventing things. We were going to the moon. We were doing all of this stuff that nobody else was doing. We were the leaders.
I would say there was also kind of an adjunct to the Rat Pack that was in some ways very iconic for women too. I mean, if you look at Angie Dickinson, you look at Joey Heatherton, you look at who's Shirley MacLaine, who was in the original Ocean's 11. You look at all that. There were some tremendous actresses who benefited from association with the Rat Pack and went on to tremendous careers. And I mean benefited in the sense that they not only hung out with them, they got in their movies because those guys recognized great actresses when they saw them. That whole era really, you look at Lee Marvin, who palled around with those guys. There were some actors and actresses who really were sort of Rat Pack adjacent, who really kind of took the era to another level too. But I would say there was some great actresses who came out of that too.
Oh, no question. You just reminded me of one of my favorite times in a KQ morning show. We have Mike Wallace from CBS booked, and then an hour later, Angie Dickinson is booked. And I always knew that Mike Wallace and Angie Dickinson were very good friends. I don't know if you knew that or not.
I did not.
So I said, Mike, I know that you're very good friends with Angie Dickinson. Is there anything you'd like me to say to her or ask her for you? And he said, Tom, would you ask Angie, is it true that she had an affair with JFK? So he goes away. An hour later, here's Angie Dickinson. And I said, Angie, we're at the end of the interview, so if you hang up after I ask you this, I'll be okay with that, So she said, no, you can ask me whatever you'd like to ask me. It's not a problem at all. I said, well, this is from Mike Wallace. And she goes, oh, Mike, I love Mike. He's just a wonderful guy, a great friend. Well, he has a question for you. And she says, okay, what's the question? And I said, Mike Wallace wanted me to ask you if it was true you had an affair with JFK. And she paused and said, Tom, would you tell Mike that's none of his goddamn business?
So in other words, yes.
Isn't that just wonderful?
That's classic, and that is classic sort of that era. And
right.
That's kind of another thing it would be great to repurpose a little bit is some level of cheeky but decorum, at least. Some level of cheeky decorum where you can still get through life without everybody shaking their ass and nothing but a G-string.
Oh, my wife is insisting that I ask you because I follow you on Twitter. What's your Twitter handle?
@RealJeffCesario. Somebody apparently took Jeff Cesario, but is nowhere to be found on Twitter.
Interesting.
Oh, there you go.
Thank you so much for that. Yeah, I'm @RealJeffCesario, building slow but sure on Twitter. I really enjoy Twitter. It took me a while to get into it. I'm a monotasker, and I'm not a tech guy. Put it this way. My wife handles all the tech in our house. Here's how any conversation about our computers ends 30 seconds in. My wife looks at me and just says, "Give me that."
You go on Twitter every day?
I try to do it every day. It's been hard on this gig because we've been burning a little bit, some long hours and whatnot. But I try to pop in at least every couple of days just because I have comedy thoughts that usually fit into 140 characters pretty easily. So it's a great discipline to get that joke muscle right and for me. So I rarely get political even or anything. So
right.
But even when I do, boy, that's when I respect guys like you who've been in the public eye. That's when it was one of the reasons that I kind of voluntarily stepped aside in the mid-'90s and said, after working with Dennis Miller and working with Gary Shandling and, those guys, brilliant guys, famous but sort of cult fame, I would say. You would say at that time they kind of pioneered the notion of a small but powerful demographic, which is the big thing now. They're even doing it on TV. They could give a crap if they've only got 5 million viewers, if they're the right 5 million viewers.
Right.
Those guys kind of pioneered that. So they didn't have like Seinfeld level fame or everybody, 50 million people know who he is. So, but even working with those guys and watching those guys, I was amazed at the crap they had to deal with from just nuts, just completely insane people.
Oh, yeah.
So, I kind of always wanted to write and work behind the camera as well as in front, and in the mid-'90s I kind of took that direction and took a little heat off my own career in order to do it. But, now just tweeting like the referee, the replacement refs. And I kind of keep my politics to the middle, and I'll play both sides of the fence from a humor standpoint. I got no problem going against the Democrats or the Republicans if something's funny. So in this, I said, well, any anti-union people in the world, see how that's going to work for you in another 2 weeks.
Yeah.
When your team gets boned, you're going to say, maybe we should. And sure enough, like Scott Walker comes out, the governor of Wisconsin, who's like virulently anti-union, comes out and says, we better settle this strike. The Packers just got screwed. And sure enough, just from a simple joke like that, I must have got 10 Twitters from people going, it's the union greed that's causing the problem, Jeff. How can you make fun of it? And I'm like, dudes, it's a freaking joke.
Yeah.
It's Twitter.
For Bradshaw and Bryant, Michael Bryant. Michael, what's up?
Dealing with another case where a person gave a statement to the adjuster because they thought the person was really friendly.
Is that a good idea?
Well, the problem is they know the law when they call you up. And while you're trying to be fair and you're trying to get help, the reality is there are questions you get asked that the way you answer them make a big difference. And people put themselves in trouble. And when they aren't in trouble, they didn't do anything wrong, but suddenly the adjuster's got a statement that can blow up their case completely.
What has caused people to be so untrustworthy, I guess is the best way I could put it? They take advantage.
Well, insurance companies have hired adjusters whose job it is to deal with unrepresented people. So they're supposed to kind of lure them in, call them every day, see how they're doing, and people are like, I'm doing pretty good. Where the reality is they've kind of adjusted to their problem that they've got going on. So it's not that they're completely better, but the way they say it gets to be a problem. And that's why having somebody who can explain your rights, represent you, make sure that you understand the law before you give a statement can make a big difference in your case.
Michael Bryant, Bradshaw and Bryant. I'm talking with my friends Michael Bilski and Brad Huckle of North American Banking Company. Guys, business owners have had to deal with a lot over the last few years, haven't they?
They sure have, Tommy. We pride ourselves on being able to help our customers with the challenges they face.
Our business bankers are experts and are always ready to help our customers capitalize on opportunities and solve problems.
Loan decisions come quickly because they're made here in the Twin Cities and not shipped out of state like at some of the national banks in town.
This allows our customers to expand their businesses with confidence, knowing that they have our team of experts in their corner.
Okay, so now you give me this big thing at the end. Way to go.
Well, you are the professional.
Oh, I forgot. Look, I know Brad and Mike, and I trust them with my banking. They've personally delivered on everything they've just said, so why not bank with my banker? North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender. I'll tell you, and, over the years I've gotten myself in a little trouble here and there, back and forth, but I literally spend now maybe about 60 seconds a day, but for a while I was answering my critics, which is a huge mistake. Even answering is a huge mistake. So I literally just type in, get the fuck off my Twitter page. That's it. I don't want you on here yelling at me. I'm trying to have fun here and connect with my friends and family and have a good time. And
it's just like Liz Winstead. I just ran into Liz. The great Wild Bill Bauer passed away not too long ago, and I ran into Liz in Minneapolis. I came back for the memorial, which we can talk about in a second. And Liz, wears her politics on her sleeve. Everything she says anywhere is and she's very left, and she's very open about it, and she's very pro-choice, and all of that. And she wears it right on her sleeve. But generally speaking, she will, A, get to a punchline somewhere in there, and B, she has no problem as a comic with anybody going after anything.
Right.
So even when guys were making jokes about rape, there was a whole controversy with Daniel Tosh about rape jokes, and then somebody else jumped in, Dane Cook or something.
Yeah.
And, Liz's whole stand on it was, hey, if it's funny, great, defend it. Because where it's funny, which means have a target for the joke, figure out how you can, rationalize the joke and knock yourself out, And just from saying that, she gets, women have it so much harder. She gets called the C word on a regular basis. And all her responses on her Twitter is, thanks.
Thanks.
Gotta have humility.
Why would you waste the time?
I know. Why do you want to? I wouldn't. First of all, somebody said something I didn't agree with. I would never go to their Twitter page and say, well, here's what I think. I just ignore them. It's like, whatever. I don't like what you said. Who gives a rat's ass?
Yeah, but it's designed. Twitter and message boards, especially in the moment, are designed for snipey people who would like anonymity.
It's true.
Yeah.
They're designed for people who are thinking, I would rather snipe at other people as opposed to do something with my own life. It's like perfectly designed for that. Yeah. So you could be 40 seconds into the Academy Awards, and somebody's already, literally, we're backstage and somebody's following it like, Billy Crystal looks old. And you go, what? Shut up.
Yeah. He should kill himself right now.
And I bet you're 500 pounds overweight, you asshole. There's no point in sniping back. You just got to go, well, that's what it's designed for, mazel tov. Knock yourself out.
Pete Correale?
I don't.
Pete Correale is a young comedian. I can't, first of all, let me say, before I tell this quick little tale, I cannot believe you've been in Hollywood for 28 years.
And working. And work the whole time.
And work the whole time, yeah.
Yeah, pretty crazy. I never had to resort to shaving ice, which is one of the greatest comments. I remember running into Paul Reiser after my first Tonight Show in '87, and he said, great set, but you look like an Italian ice salesman. Lose the tie.
Lose the what?
Lose the tie.
Lose the tie, yeah, okay. I could. But Dick Rossi, that's one of my favorite things about seeing you in a tie as Dick Rossi is wonderful.
Well, that's the other thing. We're going to wear the same clothes every single thing because we shoot black and white. But then look at each other and go, hey, did you get a new tie? Yeah, what do you think?
So maybe that's why I'm just knocked. I understand your comedy completely. I really do.
It's got a great. We have a little bit of a shared background in the sense that we both grew up in the Midwest, but we both had, let's just say, a Mediterranean sub-heritage to it that doesn't wear that well in the Midwest.
It doesn't wear well.
As far as Minnesotans and Wisconsinites were concerned, you and I may as well have been black. You're Jewish and I'm Italian. So
yeah, there you go.
That's as close as they get.
And Tony, come on, Tony Lee, Christ, you can't get any more Jewish than that. Tony, you haven't told Jeff about Augie yet?
Oh yeah, I just had a new baby boy last Friday.
get out. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. First time my wife was up feeding him and he's crying, and my little 3.5-year-old yells up the stairs. He goes, "Mommy, are you punching him?"
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, that's great. I know everything becomes a child services nightmare. Like my kid's screaming because she just doesn't care for something somewhere, and she just starts screaming, and you go, "Oh, please stop screaming," because I know child services will be at the door tomorrow. Because you can't do anything anymore.
By coincidence, and I found this out from Sean, as a matter of fact, that Tony had named his son August. Augie, right?
Right.
So I said, I was talking about it on the podcast. I said, did he name his kid after my uncles? He goes, what do you mean? I had two generations of Uncle Augies, right? Uncle Augie. I should mention, by the way, my first Uncle Augie, he was my great uncle, coming over from Germany, fell off the ship, and they actually rescued him. In the harbor, he fell off the ship.
Wow, of course.
A couple of beverages?
Right, he's in the harbor, he falls off the ship. He's like 2 years old, but they rescue the kid.
Precursor
So I
things
said,
to come.
Okay, well, make sure you tell Tony that I had two Uncle Augies, and they were both murdered.
Good God.
That's a true story. The first one, both arms, both legs broken, stuffed head first in a snowbank, froze to death. The second one was thrown off the roof of a building.
Well, now let me ask you this. How old were they when they passed away?
39. You remind me of an actuary from an insurance company.
Back in that era, a guy hits 40, everybody looks around and goes, yeah, but he had a good life.
Well, it's true. You know, what's interesting is my Uncle Augie, my mother's brother, the second August, was 39. He would have turned 40 4 days later, and he always wanted to be 40 years old. But very quickly, I'm sitting down, got a bunch of life insurance a couple years ago, right? Just to Catherine
Thank
be covered.
You, honey.
So the actuary calls me. He says, "Let's go through your family. Go through the family. Okay, and your mother's family. She got this, and this." I said, "Okay, well, there was Uncle Ed. You knew about Uncle Ed?
No.
You didn't know this story either?
No.
Augie's brother, Ed. How old was he when he died? He was 36. Well, how did he die? He was hit in the back of the head with a pipe." I said, "Okay." Anybody else? I said, "Yeah, his brother Augie. What about how old was he when he died? He was 27. He goes, "Well, how did he die?" He did, again, stuffed the first head in the snowbank. So
goes, between you and me and a wall, these were all accidental.
So the final one, and then my mother's brother, Augie, he was thrown off the roof of a building. And there was this long pause, and the actuary goes, "Jesus Christ, your mother's family pissed somebody off."
It was brothers August and Edward?
Yes, August and Edward.
Because that's my little boy's name is August Edward.
Yes.
Wow. You bullshit me. It's August Edward?
Uh-huh. Yeah, after our grandfather. My wife's Italian, so it's after her great-grandfather, Agostino.
Tell him
who had a
not to
hook
gamble.
for a hand.
He had a hook?
Uh-huh.
They call him Lefty. Remember that old Get Smart joke?
Augustino. There you go.
Augustino. So, honest to God, his name is August Edward.
Uh-huh, after our grandpa.
That is so bizarre.
Yeah, cool.
That is odd.
Yeah, I named my kid Bailey because with a last name hook like Cesario, I wanted to give her a fucking break on the first name.
Well, you didn't go with Marie, huh?
No, I didn't go with Angie.
Yeah, that's true. Angie Cesario.
She's getting smart, though. She actually said, we literally watched the Badgers lose to Oregon State 2 weeks ago, 10-7, and I swear to God, she turned to me and she said, the Badgers pooped their diaper.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes, they did.
You got to get back to work. You told me what time you needed to get to work on on Brand X, Jeff Cesario. So your actual title is head writer and...
Yeah, I think this go around I'm head writer and supervising producer or something. I don't know.
World
I let
champion.
my team of Jews handle that.
Attaboy.
I brought up the name Pete Coriale. He's a young Italian kid from New York, and he's the nicest kid in the world. He's got a lot of energy, and you will hear his name. You know the World's Dumbest, you know that show, The World's Dumbest, is Brian Callen's on it. And,
right.
You know the show I'm talking. Pete's going to be on that show starting in like a couple of weeks.
Oh,
right?
Great. Well, Brian's a hugely talented guy. So
yeah. We had dinner on Thursday night a week ago, and then he wanted to have dinner again on Saturday night, so we had dinner on Saturday night, too. He was on the podcast. He just he was in town and just...
Super guy and hugely talented. I mean,
he is.
The type of physicality he brings to his stand-up. You just don't see that anymore.
Oh, he does, man. He gets really intense.
I mean, when he does that dinosaur raptor freaking I don't know what the hell that is.
Yes.
I look at that and I go, how the hell do you even think of that? He just thinks so differently. He's really fun to watch.
Pete sits down on the podcast. He goes, so, Tom, I see that you had Brian Callen on the podcast last week. Is that right? Was it your fucking girlfriend? I said, what? He goes, the fucking people at Rick Bronson's House of Comedy tell me you go out to dinner with him on Thursday night. Then he comes on does a podcast on Friday. And then you have dinner with him on Saturday night. What, are you having a fucking affair with the guy? I'm like, settle down. But I told Pete, and if you don't mind telling it, the day that you met Rodney Dangerfield with Jerry Seinfeld, because I didn't do the story justice. Oh,
this is probably the first big celebrity I meet. I've been in L.A. maybe a year and a half. Seinfeld, one of my idols, getting into comedy. I actually worked with him on the road. It was one of the only times I ever middled or did anything like that, because at that time I was already headlining, but I did it to work with Jerry. So Jerry and I made fast friends. We get back to L.A. Not more than a month later, I'm at the Improv in L.A., hanging out with Seinfeld. In walks Rodney Dangerfield, and at this point, mid-'80s, he's king of the world, right. Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah. Oh, God.
He's huge on The Tonight Show, killing it. He's already doing movies. He's killing those. He's a huge star. Limos up to the Improv, walks in, the seas part for him. He can go up on stage anytime he wants, to a standing ovation, does 15 minutes of killer material, walks off stage. I'm in awe. I'm standing there with Seinfeld like, my God, this is impressive. Jerry, of course, inured to this kind of thing from New York, and, already pretty well on his way himself. Jerry turns to me and goes, well, would you like to meet Rodney Dangerfield? And I go, well, hell, I'd love to meet Rodney Dangerfield. Rodney's almost leaving. He's back out the door. He's almost in the limo. Jerry goes, come on. We walk out. He taps Rodney on the shoulder right before Rodney gets in his limo. We're outside on Melrose Avenue. People gathered around because it's Rodney Dangerfield. Jerry goes, hey, Rodney. Rodney goes, hey, how you doing, Jerry? Good to see you. And he goes, I'd like you to meet a friend of mine, Jeff Cesario. And Rodney looks right at me and he goes, Cesario, Italian, huh? Stick to the tumbling. Gets in the limo, shuts the door, drives off. One of my favorite moments in my entire career.
It's one of my favorite moments. I wasn't even there. Matter of fact, see, I told you I butchered the story because I thought you were in New York, so I'm glad you retold it.
Oh, man. Pretty amazing. Just such a great time, man.
At Real Jeff Cesario. What we'll do is probably just write a tweet, and if you could just retweet it to all of your followers.
Awesome, we'll do.
We'll do the same thing on this. Antonia, any last words, any final words, sir?
I just love hearing how passionate and excited Jeff is about the project. It's going to work.
Yeah, both of these. I'm very excited about Russell Brand. This is I've always approached my career as kind of as like a great jazz musician, like Herbie Hancock could go play with Miles Davis as a sideman and do the job, and then go off on his own and do the job.
Right.
So, knock on wood, I'll get a chance to do both elements here.
There's no question. Brand X, the name of the show, head writer and supervising producer, Jeff Cesario. Every time I talk to you, it's just, it's like, 20 years ago.
Oh, thanks, man. Well, the same. And anytime, love to do the show. And it sounds like you guys have good food there. That's all I can say.
We do have
that
good.
much family around, I would hope. And Tony Lee, somebody better be bringing good food.
I got a nice stew.
It says you've got a nice beef stew for after the show. It'll be wonderful. Jeff, thank you very much for all your time.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Thanks very much.
Bye.
Jeff Cesario, ladies and gentlemen. Isn't he just wonderful?
His writing is effortless. You can tell just because of the way he speaks that a lot, his improvisational skills are
he just has to put
outstanding.
It on paper.
Yes.
Right.
You know what I really enjoy about him, too, is the fact that it's like, oh, Tony Lee, one of the funniest guys. And blah, blah, blah. Anybody who's ever been around him, he remembers them. He knows Tony. It's not just like Tony's only been around him once or twice. He's been around him a lot. But, if Jeff Cesario's met you once, he does not forget you.
He's a very genuine, grounded guy.
He really is.
I met him one time, posted something on his Facebook, and he sent me back a message. So you're exactly right. I met him one time in 1989, and he actually
He's from Wisconsin, that's why.
And he's a good kisser.
He's a great...
He's a good kisser.
Holds a hug a little too long for me. But.
Yeah, he's another one of those guys I knew. He just, okay, Andy, roll. Okay, Jeff, start talking.
Yeah, there you go. Pull the string.
Just pull the string. He's got and seriously, we have to have him back back soon because he has a billion stories that are all hilarious.
We'll have him on all the time.
A portion,
does that even mean?
A portion of the profits of the Tom Barnard Podcast goes directly to the Smile Network. The Smile Network is a nonprofit organization that provides life-altering reconstructive surgeries and related healthcare services to impoverished children and young adults in developing countries. The Smile Network. Together we are constructing lives one bright, smiling face at a time. The Tom Barnard Podcast giving away $5,000 on October 11th, just 10 days from now. To one of our lucky listeners, we'll give a matching donation to the Smile Network. All you have to do to enter is go to our website, tombernardpodcast.com. Click on the banner or the Enter Now button. The contest promotes sharing the podcast through Facebook, Twitter, email, and more. We'll contact the winner of $5,000 on October 11th, and you'll be interviewed on the show. The 30-day giveaway of $5,000 at tombernardpodcast.com. Another wonderful show. Thank you much, everyone.
Yay.
Everyone good?
Thank you. Yay.
Have a good day.
Wait.
Oh.
Should you mention what's coming up this week? We got a crap load of guests.
We have a lot of
right.
Tony, have you seen the guest list for this week?
I saw Vince Flynn is coming up.
Vince Flynn will be on this week.
And
Chris
he's a big
Cluey.
deal.
Oh, Chris Cluey, yeah, fantastic.
I'm really excited about Chris Cluey.
People don't really know how intelligent that guy. He aced his SATs.
He's big into video
So
games.
we got Chris Cluey coming tomorrow. Totally. We got Vince Flynn.
We got Alex Barnard.
Nice. You go.
Joe Coy and Angela Johnson.
Yes.
You know, one of the producers, Billy Corbin from ESPN, probably next week. But he's doing a thing tomorrow night on ESPN. He's kicking off this 30 by 30. It's a series of films on ESPN. And the first one is called Broke. It's about how all these professional athletes who've gone through $50, $60, $100 million, and now they're broke. Fascinating subject.
Oh, I'm sure.
That's a great series.
Richard Lewis is back on the schedule.
Oh,
He'll be on,
fabulous.
I believe, October 18th. We'll record him.
Dr. Wayne Dyer next week.
Oh, yes.
Oh, is Wayne Dyer next week?
Yep.
Yes,
next week.
That's a big thing. You guys lined that up. Dr. Wayne Dyer's hit. How many books has he written? A bestseller?
About 100.
And his daughter Tracy Dyer will be on as well.
That's excellent. I mean,
She's a handbag designer, eco-friendly.
Why are you speaking like a
I'm going to
munchkin?
talk like this from now on.
What's up with you?
She's my receptionist. That's what you sound
Welcome
like.
to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Call for Tom Barnard on line 3.
Could you do something for Tony because he's never heard it?
Oh, no, what?
The woman who fell off crushing the grapes, who fell off the grape crusher.
Has he seen that video?
You know which I'm talking about, don't you, Tony?
Yes.
Was it on YouTube?
And she falls down. Yeah.
It's on YouTube. Yeah, she falls.
Viral thing.
She falls. What about 4 feet?
Yeah, it makes the weirdest
You've not seen
noise
it?
No,
ever.
I'm not seeing it.
So let's hear it.
It's like,
Very
That's
nice.
exactly what she said.
Isn't
You
that
got
right
it.
on the money? And the people back, the cloying, suck-ass
for your
people
pain.
back at the TV studio are going, it looks like she's really hurt. That's too bad. Hey, nice day today, though.
it's so funny. You have to watch
crushing.
it.
All right.
Hilarious.
Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for listening.